Everybody, you know, I don't like asking for much, but Ben and I have been talking about it, and if you're enjoying this series, if you're liking the Cali series, if you're liking the stuff we've done with Bella and Spry and Cody and the workshops and all that stuff, I want to ask just a quick favor, if you'd be willing to subscribe to our channel, and also turn the notifications on so you get an update on when we put new video out. It's one of the best ways for us to be able to A, figure out how we're doing, and B, organically kind of grow it, so that hopefully it helps other people as well. So if you do us that favor, be sure, if you're watching this and you like it, to hit subscribe and also turn your notifications on, and then you won't miss a thing. Back with Cali, and we're coming off of a weekend. We had her up north. We really didn't do a lot of formal training. New environments, replicating a bunch of habits in new spots, place training, dealing with Lillian, my littlest 2-year-old, had her birthday party and dressed her up in a dress, and it was an Elsa party or a Frozen party, so she was incorporated in that, and that's all new to her. And it might sound silly, but it's all just being able to be comfortable in new situations. Literally, they put a dress on her along with our other dogs, and so she was a part of this. And my wife took her for walks in new locations. She just experienced a bunch of new stuff. And what's real important is the ability to travel and do that kind of stuff and replicate behavior-wise what you're looking for in them. And so you don't necessarily have to treat everything as an opportunity for a real formal training, but it really should always be an extension of whatever it is you're shaping or forming the dog into at home. When you go on the road, I think you gotta keep that in mind, that rules still apply. It's also an adjustment to rules. Where we were staying, it was a buddy's camp, and then his stepdad was up there, and his stepdad loves dogs, and I came around the corner and came into the living room, and here Cali is up on his lap, just getting cuddled, and I go, wait a minute, and I kind of scolded her and corrected her for it, and he looked at me and he goes, well, I called her up here. She didn't hesitate to get up. So, you know, the rules have to, I always talk about, be consistent. It's also, you adjust rules accordingly to expectations and what you're looking for. Now, if he was the owner, I'd have said, well, that's up to you, but keep in mind, she's gonna expect that that's acceptable. And so, you know, I let it slide that once, and then I said, I'm gonna have to be extra careful. And I kind of joked with him. I said, boy, you untrained her for me. I'll have to train her a little bit more now, which it's not a big deal. They're pretty resilient. They're pretty durable. As a rule, you can get away with a lot of mistakes, but that's one that I don't want to get let slide too much, because she'll start to expect it. But anyway, now we're back. So now we're going to get back into some formal training. And what I like about it is we kind of took a little break. We did 2-3 days in a row working this circle memory in these beans. Again, I use the beans as cover. It's not real thick, but it is enough to be visually a little intimidating to push through. She showed us that. We're going to walk around, and instead of setting it up with the straight lines like we did, remember the objective and the goals with this was, after we ran the first time, we realized she bellied out and ran our trail. She didn't want to go through what I call cover or any type of challenge or barrier. She didn't want to run through that pond. Even though it's frozen, she didn't want to push through it. She certainly wasn't going to go through it if it would have been open water. So we want her running straight lines when we line her, when it's logical and makes sense. We're going to try to set this up and see if that stuck, if she got it. If not, we'll continue to work on it. It's not something that, you know, 3 sessions maybe isn't enough, but we're going to test that a little bit and find out. We're going to do it in the same spot. We're going to do it with the exact same setup. It's on purpose. It's this memory idea. It's something that we've done over and over and over again, hopefully enough for it to register and make sense. Then we'll move that and do it somewhere else over and over and over again until it's perfect and makes sense. Replicate it again, do it in different locations. The other thing I'm going to do today is, we did a hunt command over there last time as well. We're going to do that. I brought out tennis balls. These are my duck tennis balls. This is just duck down that I pluck off the birds, and I freeze tennis balls in them. So these are going to be freshly scented. We did get some new snow. Got just enough snow to cover tennis balls up, so I want to make sure that I was getting some good scent on these balls when she's searching them out, finding them with her nose. But prior to that, we're going to utilize this strip of brush, and we're going to push in and out of that. We're going to see how she does with that, because I'm kind of setting up for my next drill. I want, one of the things I noticed with her is she's very good in very smooth or simple situations. Running down paths, running with edges, she's real good with. It's when we start to get into some of the obstacles that are what she's going to face when we're actually hunting. That's where I don't want her to start fading and dissipating as far as her ability to kind of push through it. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to make the loop here. We're going to start sending, we're going to send from over there. We'll start our circle here. We're going to just do the exact same thing. We're going to walk in kind of a loop. Nice part about this snow is our old path is still kind of there as far as through the beans, but we don't have this beaten down path of tracks anymore. So when we send her, it's truly going to be kind of a test for her to understand if she really can run a line and carry it and hold it for us. So we'll work around in this circle. Now I'm going to pay attention to her heel work. You saw that was a pretty firm correction for her. Look at the change. So now we've got a desired change. She's kind of tuned back in, woke back up, if you will, to the idea of what it is we're doing here. I'm going to come to here. Watch. 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 Good. Heel. I want to get her focusing. She doesn't, when we pitch dummies, whether it be trailing memories, this is just a circle memory, when we do it, she doesn't seem to really lock in. Her head almost starts to swivel a little bit, and I'd like to get her more in this routine of watch something down and focus on it a little bit. That's just something that we'll work on with her. Caught her kind of napping there. That's why I stopped, because I sensed her kind of checked out from me and kind of walking at her own pace. Good. And so I'm gonna make sure she's feeling me. Good. Come back to this point here. She's picked up stuff in this little pile of cover here the last few times. So this is going to start making sense to her to go run to that spot. Watch. 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 Good. Helps when I hold out the hand. I think that's something that she has seen quite a bit of prior to coming to us. A lot of lining, and I don't want to have to line with the hand until I need to, because I use that as something to help me, particularly in like a blind retrieve situation where she doesn't know where it is. I'll use that as a means of aiming her. If I don't have to, I don't want to. I'd like to be able to let her memory come in to seeing and watching and taking that little snapshot of what it looks like. Now, if Ben gets behind me, you can see a faint trail through the beans. It's not real distinct, but it's clear enough. Right through there and over is where it is. And the thing about this week or today is there's been probably 4 inches of snow. So the trail is kind of beat down. It's not nearly as distinct to her And so all the more challenging and all the more reason I don't want her running that circle. Now we're gonna go back to this first one, heel. Line, and we're gonna know her off of it. Sit. No, leave it, good. Much better. Watch. Cali. Beautiful. Across the water, up into the cover. Good. Much better. Much improved. Good girl. And straight back. Big improvement over last week. And this is really the first time we've set it up similar to how we did it last week when she ran into those little issues. Good dog. Very good. And I don't want her leaning in. That's a really nice delivery. Good. See the little space she gave me that time? We've been working on that. Every time she comes in and leans in, I'm not allowing her to lean up on me. Good dog. But that's very good. So we're gonna let her know. Good. Dead. Good little distraction. We got a truck going through, so that's all right. Now the memory back to the first here. Here, I'm gonna help her. Here, come on, Cali, heel. Good. Sit. So I start her out. You see how we start her making movement in the right direction. Watch. Cali, go back. Good. Good girl. Very nice. Much improved on last week. So 3 days of breaking this little drill down, simplifying it to her. Good girl. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Not what we want there. Come on. Again, the easy path. I don't want her to be taking the easy path when it's not that hard of what I want. Good. So there's a little bit that we could work on the delivery back. Good. Dead. Very good. Very good. But that's okay. I have no problem with that. So we just redid what we did last week, heel, that she had a little bit of problem with. Heel, come on. Come on. Heel. Now, you can stay right there, Caden. Heel. Cali. Cali, come on. Heel. Heel. Good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick, it's kind of a deer trail here, and I don't necessarily want to push her right through that deer trail. It's a little too easy. So instead what I think we'll do is we'll go right here where I see, it's not here, heel, heel. It's not really a natural opening, but there is a little bit. So we're going to pick our way through the cover, heel. And I want to heel her through. Come on, heel. Because here's where, let's see, before we set it up. So this is what I think we want to do ultimately. But I want to show you the reason why. Sit. So if I take a dummy, go up and over that wall, heel. And she may, we'll see, maybe she pushes right through it and there's no issue. Then we can start to build off of that. But we're still kind of in a test mode, figuring out what we can and can't do. So we'll make it even a little bit tougher to try it here. Let's go across this pond. Heel. So we're going to send her from this cover. Now we're actually here. Now we're actually in the cover that we used to make a retrieve out of. Now remember, I pitched a dummy up and over a nice big tree line there. So she's going to have to go across the pond, across this light cover, across the heavy cover, and we'll see how she does with it. Set up here as just basically a sight memory where we pitched it up and over, heeled her back, added some distance to it, and we'll line her out. Cali, go back. I can't quite even see her right now if she's pushed through or not. There's a good girl. Very nice. Come on. Good girl. Very good. So she handles it real well. That is a good dog. Come on. Now she struggled with that. What we're going to do is break it into pieces. Good. Hold. And push, actually heel her through that cover. And then heel her back through and send her. But she pushed right through it. Very nice. Very nice. Good girl. Good. Did. Good. Good. Sit. So, let's try this. Sit. Now, this will require some steadiness on her part, which is another spot where I just think we need to work on it a little bit. Here we're going to do kind of a similar thing. I've got another strip of cover here. I have to be careful because I'm breaking sight with her. She can't quite see me. Up and into cover. We'll come back and we'll send her through that. I really am, the test here that I'm looking for is to figure out how well she can punch into cover. And the idea is we flush a bird here, heel, come here. We flush a bird here, we hit it, it sails into that tree line. It sails across that tree line. And we send her and ensure that she'll push through. And I guess there's a little bit of marking involved with this as well. She had to watch that bird down, start to gauge or judge some distance. Good. Good. Watch. There's our miscommunication. She's not sure. We need to get her understanding exactly when and how I want to send her. When I say watch, that doesn't mean go. Watch is to focus down. And then I'm going to send you on your name and I'll tell you to go back. Cali, go back. Good girl. That's real nice. Now she hunts a little, stops and hunts short. Almost looking for a little help. Wind is coming this way, so she's going to let her work her nose and try to work this out. Good. Good girl. She got wind of it there. Lost. Good girl. That was the first time I've really seen her nose shine through. She caught nice strong wind of that. Very good. Good girl. Good dog. There's a good girl. Here, right here. Hold. Good. Hold. Good. There's a good dog. She did really well there. Did. So I'm real pleased with. So you saw what this showed me was a little bit of intelligence on her part, a little bit of how she's going to think stuff through, how she's going to be a little bit of a problem solver when needed, which is a great trait. She went in, hunted, decided to come back, started to work, boom, hit it with her nose, went right to it. So heel. I'm not going to overhandle her. She almost looked to me for help there. I'm not in the point right now where I feel like me and her are A, I don't have a ton of confidence in our handling yet because we haven't really done a lot of it. B, I'm not going to look to get her to be dependent on me. I really want her to use her skills. I want her to use her nose. I want her to use her brain to figure stuff out when possible. Sit. That was something where she saw it go down, so she internally has a pretty good idea probably of where it's at. And I'm going to get her in a position to have success. And thankfully the wind was real perfect for that actually. She hit wind, got wind, picked it really nicely. Now, let's do this again, and let's just flip-flop it. So what we're doing today is, some of the stuff we're doing is built on, so she's picked the dummy up here already. So this is, in part of how we set today up. She picked the dummy up here already, and that's, I don't know, the 4th day of picking up a dummy in this spot. She picked a dummy up over there for the 4th day in a row. Then we flip it around on her and we send her from this spot. So we sent her from where she used to pick dummies up. Mentally, that's getting her to work inside out. So she's used to coming to this spot to get a dummy and go back. Now I'm going to say, okay, now stay where the dummy usually is and go get it out. So we just reversed it inside out. She went and picked that one. She went and picked this one. So now we're going to finish out here, back into a general area, you know, within 5-10 yards of where she's picked stuff up, within this pocket of cover at least. Heel. And we're going to go back and reverse the last drill that we did 2 drills ago, or 2 retrieves ago. Heel, where she went across this pond, went across the tree line, and came back. Now we're going to go across the pond, go through the tree line, and I'm going to push her back through it the opposite way. And but one of the things about this that I think is going to be real helpful for her, you're going to probably want to move Caden. Well, we're going to end up sending her back down here, so you can probably stay over here. One of the things that's going to be important with this that will help, I think, with her success is the idea of, A, she's been through this trail already. She's already run down through here. She's already went through this cover once. She's already picked that dummy. Heel. But we're setting her up with a little bit different look to the drill, or to this actual repetition of it. But there's some consistency. A little bit of variation, but there's also several consistent factors from a location. Heel. Here. Here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Heel. 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 Come on. Heel. Cali, come on. Come on. A little uncertainty of heeling through this thick cover. Heel. Heel. Come on. Come on. Come on. Here. Good. Heel. Good. And you notice, I mean, the heel work gets tough in tough conditions. She started to second guess, she squirts out and goes back on me, and I'm jabbing her in her way and trying to bob and weave through that. So here's another setup. Here's another pile of cover. I could pitch a dummy in there, go back, and we just sending her through lots of strips of cover, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Building the confidence of driving through cover, but having the ability for her to feel comfortable with the idea of, I've already been through it once, I've been through it twice, I've been through it 3 times. The more comfortable she is, the less holding back she has to push through it. And so we get her understanding, drive through it, drive through it, drive through it, and then we'll move and do it in a new spot. Get that comfortable, then move, do it in another spot, till we get to the point where she understands, when he sends me to go through something, I should just go through it and not hesitate. And she didn't show much hesitation. She showed very little hesitation. The only time she showed a little hesitation was when she went into that one that was towards the road. Put a little delay in it by talking too much. Watch. Cali, go back. Go back. I'm going to remind her as she hits the cover. Go back. Good. She picked her way nicely through it. And here's where I can't quite see her, but it's a lot easier and open on that end for her to push through. She'll cross that pond. Another thing I can do is, on this, I can start adding distance on the way back. As long as I'm confident she's coming, I can add a little distance on the way back, and she goes out thinking she knows how far it is to come back. And then it's a little further, it's a little further, and here she comes. She's coming back through. There's a good girl. Not quite on the same line. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. Ah, very nice. Come here. Come on. Good. Good. Using a feathered dummy that time. Good. Wanting her to support herself. Good. That's a good dog. She's just got a great demeanor about her. She's businesslike. Good. But she's enjoying it. You can see she's having fun. There's a good dog. Did? Very good. I think she really enjoys it. I think she's a dog that really enjoys having something to do. Most do. I mean, most dogs are like that. She really enjoys having a job. She likes doing stuff that makes me happy. Caden, you can come this way. Good. Now, we'll wait for Caden to get back over here, and we're gonna, one thing I want to do is work on a little counter steadiness. Good. Good. Remember, we couldn't really throw dummy up over the top of her because she had that tendency to want to break. We've been throwing quite a few denials for her. Watch. Watch. Good. So for every dummy she gets, I'd like to see her watch about 3 and not get them. Watch. Ah, da. Good. Good control. Good control. Come on. Come on. Sit up. Sit up. Sit up. Good. Good. So she responds real well with my correction. Now the timing had to be right there. If you miss that, if you're a little late on it and you're correcting her as she gets to the dummy, which is a split second. I mean, it was too tempting. And I thought about it before I threw it, thinking, wonder if this is going to be a little too much. It was. Notice the ratio of distance from her to me, from her to the dummy. You get that little too close. Now if I throw it in the exact same spot, watch. It's the exact same spot, but I'm closer to her. I'm closer to her by 60%, 70% closer. And the strength of me being that close, probably combined with the correction that she just got, is enough to overcome the temptation. That one's easy. I don't see a lot of temptation to break there. But look at the ratio. Me to her, her to the dummy. When I'm further away from her than the dummy is from her, the temptation becomes a lot greater. That was where she failed. Dummy's closer to her than I am. Right back at it. Good. Good. Good girl. That's a good girl. Now I want to move her and redo that. Heel. 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 Come on. Heel. Good girl. Heel. 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 Good. That should be pretty easy when I'm standing next to her. When I help her with a whistle sit, that should be pretty easy for her to understand. This is the one that gets tougher. Sit. Sit. Sit up. Good. And the reason I'm so stuck on this steadiness with her is because she's a little older for where I would like her to be with steadiness. She's probably a little behind in comparison to her age. And I have a hard time thinking about taking a dog like her hunting, where there's a lot of action with live birds. And she's got great control, but I don't want to have to get on her. I don't want to have to correct her when there's live birds around. If I do, I want it to be minimal. So I don't want to put her in a situation with birds and then have to jump all over her and correct her like I just did when she broke for those dummies, because I don't want to turn her off of the idea of a bird. And I know that bird's going to be more exciting and distracting than this, and there's going to be times when I want her using all that excitement to our advantage as something to go after and get the birds. Good. So if I can desensitize her excitement to this idea of controlled excitement, I need to have that before I go get her into a position to have live birds, and then me getting on her about breaking and being less steady. I don't want to be turning her off on that stuff. Heel. Good girl. Good girl. Heel. Heel. Good. Good. Watch. Good. Heel. There was a beautiful watch. I said watch. She looked out to it. That was beautiful. We're going to heel her back, send her on it. So she's going to see 3, 6, 9, 12 probably dummies fly. No retrieves. 13th will send her. Heel. A little slossy on her heel work here. Come on. Come on. Good. There's a nice little turn. Watch. Watch. I missed it. I should have sent her right there. Watch. Watch. Cali. Watch. Cali, go back. Good. Good. That's a good dog. Tie it in with a little denial here. Leave it. Here, here, here. Good. Good. There's that bird that just flew, just like she saw 12 times sitting. Good. This time she's got a dummy in her mouth. We're not going to switch. Good. Steady her up as she comes back in and the bird flies. Good. Not being in a rush to do anything. Good. Did. There's a good dog. Sit. Now we got that, gave her that one retrieve, and we counter it with a steadiness, one that she doesn't get. Good dog. There's a good girl. Heel. Heel. We'll circle her back around. I'm going to take these little feathered tennis balls out. Now I just store them in the freezer like this. So for our tracking dogs, I've got a Ziploc bag that has deer hair in it. These are going to have duck feathers. And they'll come out with feathers on them, which is perfect because it gets a little distracting. No different than when you shoot a bird and poof, you shoot a bunch of feathers. Dog's got to work through that. So I'll take a couple of them. Obviously there's a lot of scent value here. Heel, heel, heel. But I have hair for our tracking dogs. I've got a bag that's full of woodcock wings and feathers. This one's duck down. You can do pheasants, you can do whatever you want. You can do as many as you want. I like little dogs that hunt everything. Sit. Good, good, good. I'm gonna cover her eyes. she heard it. I don't know if she saw it, but she heard it, and she's really excited. Lost, lost, Cali lost. Ah, look at the direction of the wind, where the feathers went. She's not going to hear anything from me until she gets in an area. Here, lost. Come on, come on, come on. Lost, lost, lost. Ah, 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 ah. Here, 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 here. Come on, no, 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 no. Come on. Here, here. Cali, here. Gotta get her refocused. Here, heel. So she's catching wind of those feathers. That's no problem. It's very similar to what would happen if with a young dog, shoot a bird, feathers, they drift. Dog goes and hunts that area. I don't have a problem with it. What I don't want to do is I don't want this drill to turn into her taking a long time to figure stuff out. Here, come here, come here. So we're going to take a little ice ball. Give her a little visual mark. The balls are over here. The ice ball went over here. It's going to be upwind. So at least I gave her something to go in to hunt to the cover. Cali, Cali, lost, lost, lost. So she visually marked where it went down, but now she's got to hold that cover. Hold, lost, lost, lost. Lost, lost. Good girl. That's a good dog. Very good. Come on. Good. Hold. Good. So we're starting to get this game of hide and seek. This game of go into cover, stay in cover, find good things. Cali. Lost, lost, lost. Lost, lost, lost. She works out too far. She's not gonna hear anything from me. If she gets out too far, I'll call her back. Come on. Here. Come on. Good. Good. Lost. 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 Come on. Lost. Lost. Good. There she touched scent. Good. Good. Lost. Lost. Good girl. Good dog. There. Good girl. Hold. Hold. Good. Good. Good girl. Good. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Lost. 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 Good girl. Lost. There, she touched scent. That's what I'm looking for. Good girl. That's a good dog. Very good. Come on, come on, come on. That's a good dog. More of a game. Very nice reaction, body language from her. Cut that wind. She got downwind of it. Boom. Stops. Hunts back in hard. Good. Good. And then we're going to slow her back down like this. Good. Good. Dead. What I really like about her is her ability to kind of regroup. Kind of a high intensity thing here, a little excitement, lots of excitement, which is all good and fun, and I want it to be. It's a fine line of being formal and being informal as far as a game and have it be fun. But then the ability to kind of come back and zero out. Personality wise on her, she's cool, man. Like I'd hang out with her. She's pretty level. She's pretty mellow. She spikes when she needs to. I don't see her get real low. I don't see her get real down. I don't see, she's pretty even keel, which is really nice. Real desirable. Very much genetic, I believe. But there's a nice, that was a really nice little showing of the nose. And it's tough conditions. It's like single digits right now. It's cold. You hear me sniffling, and I mean, it's cold. And so it affects them very similar in that if I breathe in real hard right now, it's so cold it freezes it hurts. It kind of burns my nose a little bit. Well, I'm asking them, I can feel it being a little bit of icicles in my mustache and my beard. I know what it's like for her to have to use her nose and then stick it down in the snow and start sucking that in. It's hard on them too, so we have to recognize and realize that. But she did a really nice job, and I saw a lot of real nice things. I saw some really nice things today. Real reassuring to see her go through some of the cover the way she's doing. Little nitpicky things like that one return. She doesn't come back on the same line, which is a little surprising to me. I'd like to see her come back on the same line if it's logical and makes sense, but not enough to get me too worried right now. So we're going to be getting her on some fresh, warm birds, fresh killed birds. I want her picking up some of those here this week. And then before she ever sees a bird, we need to do that. I've got some pigeons that we're going to do with her. We're going to shoot a pigeon over her probably this week. I'd like to take her and hunt her a little bit, but I also want to make sure that we don't get ourselves too far ahead and all of a sudden we're dealing with some issues where we're correcting on steadiness. I want these first hunts to be very managed and very controlled. Good dog. So I don't know that she's seen a ton of opportunities to be steady under situations that get a little more exciting when it comes to like the retrieve opportunity. She's going to get some opportunities to make retrieves, jump on them. But I also need to get some confidence with her on the idea of her steady. I like how she's out at a distance right now steady, but look at how tight and tense she is. It would not be hard for her to break right now. I can read that in her body language. I'd like her to be just as relaxed out there as she is when I'm close to her. And that's something that we don't see a lot of. I've not had a ton of success in between sessions here, putting her on a remote sit and leaving her at any distance or time. And we need to. You can see she's very tense. Her ears are really perked. She's really tempted by scents. She's easily distracted. Now the nose goes down. And so all of a sudden she's going to scooch her butt up and she'll stand up and she'll want to take a step. And if I'm not there paying very close attention to it, she'll get away with it, especially at any distance. And I want that control to feel that we have that control and that discipline at distance, because when we're quartering and working out, I don't want her. I don't want to feel like we don't have the ability to have that control. And so as soon as we stretch out, I feel like I've got real nice control up tight, but we need to feel the same way with her, and she needs to feel the same way with me when we're out a ways from each other. Good. Heel. But that's it. That's a good sit. That's a good session. Plenty of stuff to show where she's at and where we, I think, want to keep going with her. But again, not disappointed at all what I'm seeing. Good girl.